Hey everyone, Gabe here from drumbeatsonline.com, a website that helps you become a better drummer. Today we are reviewing the Yamaha EAD 10 based on setup, functionality, and practicality. So with that said, let's get started. So essentially what this thing does is it turns your acoustic drum kit into an electronic acoustic hybrid kit. So you attach this guy onto your bass drum and it acts as a bass drum trigger. But then at the top here, we have stereo microphones that is going to pick up the rest of your drum kit. Now let's talk about how to actually set this thing up. Right off the bat, I will tell you, I was blown away by how easy it was to turn my acoustic drum kit into an electronic hybrid kit. All you have to do is screw this onto your bass drum. Then you take the A and B cables and plug them into the module. Then you plug it in, put in your headphones, and press the power button, and you are good to go. So when it comes to setup, I am very impressed by how easy it is to set this thing up. Now let's talk about functionality. So right when you turn this thing on, you have 50 different presets that are all going to change the way that your drum kit sounds. Here you can control how much reverb is put on each scene. You can control how much of the added effect is on each scene. And you can also change the presence of the trigger that you're using as well. But not only can you control the levels of reverb, effects, and triggers, you can also change what type of reverb you want, what type of effects you want, whether it's distortion, compression, delay, stuff like that, and what triggers you're actually using. This thing is loaded with 125 different kick samples, 77 different snare samples if you decide to add on a snare trigger. There are an array of 21 different effects and 11 different types of reverbs. Now let me show you some of my favorite EAD presets on my very average sized drum set. These presets are insanely fun to play around with. What you can also do is load in your own samples, but you have to use a flash drive. And for me, I don't really use flash drives, So I haven't done that, but I could see how that could be helpful to people who have samples that they've bought before and they want to actually play behind their kit. Now, one thing you should definitely keep in mind with the stereo microphones is that whatever is closest to the microphones is going to be louder. So my main snare drum and my rack toms and first floor tom all seem pretty even. And then the farther away your cymbals from this thing are, the better. When I played with this thing with just 2 rack toms and my ride right next to my 1 rack tom, my ride cymbal was really loud. Thankfully on this kit, the cymbals are all spread somewhat evenly, so you don't have one cymbal that's really just blaring. And on a big drum kit like this, the farther away you move from the microphones, like some of the side snares or some of the side toms, those get quieter. So that's just something you have to keep in mind. But what's also really cool about this is that you can mess with your own presets using all of the samples, all the effects, and all the reverbs to make a preset all your own that you can save and store on the module itself. So I just made 3 different presets trying to be as practical as possible. I made one preset that is just dialing in a nice sounding kit with good samples, a little compression, and a little reverb. And the next one is a really cool affected, distorted sound that I could see myself using in future songs for maybe a cool verse part or an intro or something like that. And the last one is a cool hip-hop / electronic type kit that I think could also come in handy if I was playing in a hip-hop, pop, or electronic gig. So let's check those out real quick. Now we've had a bunch of fun with the EAD10, but now let's talk about if this thing is actually practical to use in everyday life or not. So something I think that is incredibly practical about the EAD10 is that you can record the audio straight onto your computer using a simple USB cable. And you have one of 2 options. You can record it as it is on the module with all the effects right onto your computer, or you can record it just flat with no effects, and then you can EQ it on your computer to have a little bit more control. Now this is just a 1-track recording, so you don't have that much control over it, but you can still EQ it to just make it sound a little bit better. Here's an example of how the EAD10 sounds without EQ and with EQ. Also, something I think is very practical about the EAD10 is that you can plug this thing right into any PA system. Now, this could be an incredibly cool option for you to just have a 1 microphone setup for any cover gigs or bar gigs. And even if you wanted to throw some effects in certain songs, this could be a really cool thing to plug right into the PA system and have it projected. The only thing I would be a little bit nervous about in plugging this into a PA system is how much cymbal bleed there's going to be in the stereo microphones and if that's going to dominate the rest of the band. But I haven't tried it for myself, so it might be totally awesome. Something else I think is incredibly practical about the EAD10 is that you can plug your phone into the module itself just using an 1/8" cable. And then if you get Yamaha's free record and share app, you can load in all of your existing songs. And once you load it in, the app automatically maps out a click to it, which is pretty amazing. Then from there, you can play along to the song and your new click track with any of the effects from your EAD10, and you will hear the song and your drums in your headphones all together, which is super awesome. Then to take it to the next level, you can hit this button to start recording. And what you can do is not only record your audio of your session, but you can also record the video from your phone on your app to record any type of drum cover to any song that you could imagine. From there, you can upload it straight to Instagram or straight to YouTube, which is awesome. However, you do need an adapter to do this. And at first I was frustrated that this wasn't included in the actual box. But then I had to realize everyone has different types of phones. Some people have iPhones, some people have Androids. So to include all of those different adapters in one box would be a little bit excessive. So with that said, I don't have the adapter. I think the function is cool, but you are gonna have to spend a little bit more money to do it. So all in all, the EAD10 is a pretty unique and impressive device to me. The setup is incredibly easy. The functionality is super cool. You have so much control and it's really easy to navigate, which I really appreciate about it. I felt like I could just plug in and go, and that was awesome. When it comes to practicality, I think it's super awesome that you can record straight into your computer really easily, and you can also record straight into your phone as well as your phone camera, which is really cool, but you will need to get an added accessory there. I also think it's awesome that you can plug it in right into the PA so that you can take this thing out on gigs with you. I wish I could record on my phone without an added accessory, and I wish I could record a little bit longer on the module itself, but that might be a little bit of a nitpick in the grand scheme of really how awesome this thing is. So what would you use the EAD10 for? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys want to see more gear reviews, make sure to head over to drumbeatsonline.com. I'll see you there. Bye.